What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harrison. I'm sitting here working on my new weekly news recap show that I'm working on. That's gonna air every Friday, hopefully. See how it works out. But a lot of stories this week. But the biggest one, some seemingly out of nowhere. We all know at this point that that PlayStation is shutting down Bluepoint Games. If you don't know who this studio is, they're responsible for remaking Demon Souls, Shadow of the Colossus, I think an Uncharted collection, a whole bunch of other stuff. PlayStation acquired the studio back in like 2020, so they haven't been under the PlayStation Sony umbrella for very long, and they are already getting shut down. And this one this one shocked me. Out of all the studios that PlayStation has, like Media Molecule, um, Haven Studios, the ones that are working on Fair Games, like where's that at? But Bluepoint is the one that you decide to close. Arguably one of your better studios that you have. Granted, they're not working on, well, and this is the most frustrating part is yes, they were known as the remake remaster studio, which I think is fine. Nostalgia is very high these days, where people just want to replay a lot of their older games and get a fresh coat of paint on them, and play them in the modern age with modern controls and graphics and all that stuff. So I think that stuff is still very, very important. And the fact that PlayStation had them making a live service God of War game is beyond me. I'm sure they're talented enough to create something live servicey multiplayer, but for a studio that's known to work on remakes, you bought them for this purpose, put out one of the best looking games I've ever seen in Demon Souls, and then you cancel the project and then you shut them down. Like I don't. PlayStation definitely lost their way this generation. I don't understand how bad you can fumble a generation more than PlayStation has. And obviously, this isn't a console war thing. Like Xbox has definitely had its fair share of problems this generation, of course. I think both generations have been mostly a wash. I think we barely got started with this generation, and here we are 6 years in almost at the end of this year, and they're already talking about new consoles. Like, you got to read the room. Companies, like, nobody wants new consoles right now. Like, the the market's crazy. Games are more expensive than ever. And back a few years ago when PlayStation had this big roadmap, this big ambition of these 12 live service games that nobody was asking for, by the way. I don't think a single person was like, yeah, let's get a live service God of War game. One of the greatest trilogies ever made, and then you have the last two of like are phenomenal games, and your instant thought is a live service game. Like, do we not remember God of War Ascension? Like, that game didn't sell very well. So I think PlayStation lost their vision. They lost their way, because you have one of the best selling consoles ever with the PlayStation 4, and a generational run of games on the PlayStation 4. And to fumble this bad with such a good studio, like, again, I know it's not like you have Bloodborne. You own that IP. Why not have given that to Bluepoint? They know how to remaster a FromSoft game. And there could be some more things behind the scenes, where maybe the FromSoft creator didn't want them to remake it. I don't know, but like, the fact that we didn't even try, like, that's what everyone wants in every single state of play, PlayStation presentation, whatever the case is. Like, that is the number one thing that people are spamming in the comments is, where's the Bloodborne remaster? Not even a Bloodborne 2 at this point, just a Bloodborne remaster. PlayStation loves remastering their games. We got like 3 or 4 versions of Last of Us Part 1 and like 2 now of Last of Us Part 2. The fact that we never got a Bloodborne remaster is criminal. Like, somebody needs to serve time for not allowing that game to see the light of day. And you have the studio, the perfect studio, to remake that game. And this is not, I'm not trying to make this a Bloodborne rant, but the fact that people want remasters and they want remakes, like I just recorded a video for Zelda's 40th anniversary, and I am dying for an Ocarina of Time remake. Like, I want remakes. People on the Nintendo side, like, they want a remaster of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Like, people want to replay these games. They wanna play them with a fresh coat of paint. And the fact that PlayStation, I don't know, they didn't have the vision to see it, what people actually want. Like, you are a primarily single player focused company. Like, people love your video games, the Horizons, the Last of Us, the Spider-Mans. People are excited about Wolverine coming out this year. People love your single player games, and I don't know if PlayStation just got lost in the sauce and they looked at something like Fortnite and said, hey, we want to build something as big as Fortnite. That's never happening. That's never, at this point, I don't see any sort of live service game or free-to-play game to come out in the near future and do well in the slightest. And unless you are maybe Bungie's Marathon has a potential to take some of the market share and have a pretty high player count and stuff like that, if that game is good. And based off the latest trailer, it looks like a really cool game. But yeah, somewhere along the line, they lost their way and got caught up. And they got caught up in, I think, just corporate greed. They just want to make as much money as possible. And free-to-play shooters and other live servicey games, like, that was hot 7 years ago. 6 years ago, and like, there's still the big ones, your Valorants and your Fortnites and your League of Legends and all these other games, but they've been out for a long time and they've established a community, a pretty hardcore dedicated community. And like I said before, you're never touching Fortnite numbers. You just aren't going to do that. You're not going to touch Roblox numbers for the kids. So go back to what you are known for, and that is extremely high quality single player experiences. This was a shocker to me, a genuine shocker. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.